Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Troy Johnson, also known as Radio. I'm a songwriter, producer, just trying to do something special here in music and make my own mark, I guess, and just having fun with it and utilizing SSL to help bring my crazy imagination to life. I was born in a musical family. My father was in a group called the Brothers Johnson, George Johnson, the guitar player, and basically I was born in the studio. My first word was tape. I was always like the little kid nerd that had no friends that just loved music equipment. This is like the most humble setup I've ever had in my career. Just a little desk in this little box, and it's my favorite. Like, it's like the inspiration is always there. I'm always ready to go. Everything is like within arm's reach, and it's just everything that I need on a professional level, not subpar. It's just the, real deal stuff going on. Yeah, a lot of times, like on my kick tracks, this is what they'll look like. It's just like straight up, like really, really extreme. And I find that I have to make up for, there's just a lot of like thinness going around digital kind of, so I'm going extreme, and then if it's too much, then I'll just go, bring it back off and, with a little plug-in or something, and, but I don't really ever have trouble with over compressing, especially having this stereo bus compressor strapped on my mix. I always keep it on. Like, I know some people, they'll wait till the end to put it on. I keep the stereo bus mixer in throughout the whole process, and that kind of keeps everything in check a little bit. But I love the stereo bus compressor because there's still a lot of space in it. Like when you even just barely touching it, it does what it's supposed to do, but it's just like still very wide open, and you hear all the transient. And a lot of times, even that enhances the transients and the different individual sounds, depending on the settings that you have it on. So I guess that keeps me from wanting to like go crazy. But sometimes I will go crazy, and it'll create a new sound that I was looking for, or that maybe I wasn't looking for, that I loved, that I will be looking for later. So basically what I do is with the J-Lo song, for instance, I printed the stems out on the board on the G, and it wasn't that many tracks. I think it might have been like 48 tracks or something like that. And I brought all of the stems home, but of course I wanted to go back to some of the original and change the EQs and do this and whatever. And so basically I would bring up what I liked. So I have a 16 channel summing console here, and so what I did is I kept all the elements that I liked, that I was going to use, and just sum those separately. And then when I wanted to dive in and do a little more surgery and do what I need to do, I used the EQs here, and the I use a little bit. I use some plugins too. I definitely use. I'm not trying to kill plugins off, because they are amazing. They do amazing things. I love them to death. I use the analog EQs here to really do my surgery on the sounds that I need to replace and everything, and pull it up here, and it's just basically a 16 channel summing situation. But what I do is I try to I'll try to keep like my kicks and snares on separate channels, and then I'll do like a percussion stem, like hats and toms and all whatever, and then I'll do like a bass and keys and so on and so forth. So depending on what needs fixing, I'll normally that'll be its own stem, its own separate stem. If I need to fix it in like a piano part, I'll bring it up and then do my thing. And then it's not that expensive to get a great setup to where you can really compete with everyone else out there. You can really, really compete, and it's really like people can hear it and like, oh, well, that doesn't sound that much different from this record that was mixed on such and such. That actually can I can hear similarities in the sound of it. I could just get up and go. I could just like roll this, right? So I could like a lot of times I find artists wanting to work wherever they, when I work with Jorgen, for instance, he'll stay in Santa Monica just because he likes the water. Why don't you come to my place? So it's like, okay, well, I could just roll my little rack in my computer and we have a full-on, real studio, talk back, everything, whatever we need. And even though it's not a conventional studio environment or room, you're still getting what you need out of it, absolutely. We actually wrote the song for Leona Lewis originally for a writing camp. I'm signed to Sony ATV, and so I ended up writing a song with Jorgen Lofson and Evan Bogart. And Evan Bogart also wrote other hits with like Beyonce and all these. They're like super mega writers. And so like little old me, I'm just in there, and we we went there and like I said, had fun, spontaneous environment. But we did have a pitch in mind. Like I said, it was for Leona, so we were kind of thinking about subconsciously, not trying to overthink it, but just put the little thought in the back of our head, like, okay, Bleeding Love Part 2, maybe, I don't know. So we just kind of like, did it, and then they didn't take the song for whatever reason, which is fine. And then my manager ended up having a meeting with J-Lo's people when she was at Epic, played the song, they liked it, and I was like, okay, well, I never expected J-Lo to want to record it. All right, let's give it a try. And it was funny when I met her. She's like, well, I played the song for Mark Anthony when I first got it, and he was like, babe, you can't do that song. You can't do it. It's out of your vocal range. And she was like, you know what? Now I'm really gonna do it. And she, I wasn't able to be there when she recorded because she has she's working with Koot Carell. He vocal produced the song for me. I heard it. I was like, oh my gosh, she killed it. Like this is great. And when I play the song for people, that's usually their response. You're like, so is this the J-Lo version, or is it, who's singing? And you're like, no, this is the J-Lo record. Like, she killed it. Like, you don't even, there's no, like, I got the, there's no kind of technology, a little bit, but not. It's like she really is just like, the thing I love about it is the emotion. She's singing from her heart. She's really giving you everything she can in this record, and she sells the record better than anyone else, I think, in my opinion, that could have done the records. They wanted some, updated production and, just little small things, whatever. So she was at Record Plant, and so I thought I was going there just for a meeting. I had all my stuff just in case, because I'm always ready. But I'm like, I'm just going there for a meeting to check it out, and then I meet her. She tells me a little story about her and Mark, whatever. And then they tell me what they wanted done, and I was like, okay, well, I can change the drums around a little bit and add some more synth stuff for what was, I guess, more appropriate for the time and what's going on. So I was like, I had all kind of stuff going on, and so it's a matter of just lowering some stuff and featuring other things. And so in the process of that, Benny was like, hey, just mix it. I was like, really? And mix it? I mean, all right, well, yeah, we're here, So I was on a G console, mixed the record on a G. That after I finished the production, the post production, and I mean, I think it came out pretty well. And then they heard it and like, oh, it's great. Okay, we just want to make a couple changes. Problem was, it was the next day, and the studio was booked out and everything. I was like, okay, well, great. It's a good thing I have my good old X desk and X rack over here, because I can pull up these channels and I could literally do an actual recall, or change things, or still get the same exact analog clarity and quality that I would get at Record Plant at my house. It's like amazing. I was like, okay, this is the perfect opportunity to utilize this whole setup that I have, and it came out great. They were like, all right, well, and honestly, I still didn't know if it was. I was like, okay, maybe this is still the demo mix. I don't know. We'll see. And then they're like, oh, well, so we're sending off to mastering. I'm like, okay. So I guess I finished the final mix at my house. That's great. But the thing I love about this story is the fact that I actually had, the real deal SSL, stuff, bus compressor. Like, I was able to bring up the stems and still summit, and still get the same quality that I'd get on the, on the G. It was exact. It was great. So the stereo, the field, everything was just like no problems. It's easy.